guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka geekxxchic, and I'm back with another reaction to Runaways. This is episode 4, which is called Old School. Cause I'm an old fool, bring it back to the old school, yeah. So last episode, we had some really sad and some very interesting occurrences happen. The sad occurrence, of course, being the death of my man Darius. I had love for him, you know, he wasn't the brightest bulb in the chandelier, but you know, he had a good heart. And he was a softie deep down, and unfortunately that was his demise. You know, both times he kind of got sucked in by the Wilder family, and unfortunately this time he paid the ultimate price with his life. So that was super sad to see. We finally saw kind of a reconciliation, at least between Alex and Nico. That's a long time coming. She's been holding what I consider to be an unrealistically long grudge against Alex about the whole him keeping the fact that her sister knew about her mom thing. I understand her being upset for a while, but honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it was just a petty grudge to keep. But thankfully, it looks like they worked that out, which they need to do because, as I mentioned a lot in the review for the last episode, they need to come together. They need to start working together. Otherwise, they're just going to continuously have their butts handed to them. So this episode, called Old School, not sure where we're going to go with it. We ended the episode on an interesting note with having a new person show up at the sanctuary with our kids. He calls himself Topher, and he clearly followed Molly back from her, I don't know what you'd even call it, her vigilante night stroll. And so clearly this is going to be a problem for the kids, because even if they try to send him away or chase him off, he could just easily go to the cops and tell them that, you know, the mansion that they're living in is being squatted in, and basically completely mess up their situation. So I'm very interested as to why he decided to follow Molly. He's clearly not scared of her abilities, and I think from what I remember of the trailer for this season, it looks like he might actually have special abilities too, so maybe that's why he's drawn to her. So without further ado, let's jump into this episode and we will chat about it later. Okay? Boop.
Everyone take a deep breath, okay? If you saw a little girl pick up a car, you check it out too.
Whose fault is that, Molly?
This guy on the street was messing with this lady, and I tried to talk him out of it.
They're like,
fist. You know, my parents invented something for this exact situation.
What is he doing?
Do you remember the cartridge we found at Graciela's house? Inside is a serum that will wipe your whole hard drive. That 17-page.
What the crap did he just do?
Great. Let's do that.
It's not.
What kind of...
It's from our parents, remember? They're bad people.
If we used it.
Why is she not saying anything? Okay, why is this kid just rubbing in some kind of crack device? Oh my gosh, is that the substance that they dug up?
Feels like I'm in the right place.
Yes. See, maybe I had to become a vigilante.
Okay, Molly, how about we just roll the thirst back a little, okay?
Whatever, we are.
Okay, Molly, slow down. He's a
Right?
stranger.
He's got powers just like me.
No,
That can't just be
he
a
rubbed something into his skin. Oh,
Oh shit, I'm sorry I woke you up.
someone get Gert some meds. Poor girl.
I'm sorry. Am I worrying woke you up?
It does get a little loud sometimes.
I'm sorry. It's the anxiety. It's turning me into a person who says I'm sorry all the time.
Hey, it's okay.
A Canadian?
It's not like this is a new normal.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
New normal's not all bad.
Right? There are perks.
For sure.
Topher?
That side eye. I like it, old lacy gone. Did he punch his way through the wall and no one of y'all heard that? Seriously, you guys sleep entirely too soundly.
Kat, did you honestly think you could just act like this didn't happen and I'd go along with it?
Well, since there's nothing you can do about it, yeah.
Wow.
What's the point of making it a thing?
Because this is a thing. You killing the man I consider my brother, that's a goddamn thing.
It was necessary.
No, it wasn't.
Jeffrey.
No, it wasn't.
Darius had Alex.
Yep.
He could have shot him, thrown his body off a bridge, but he
Yep.
didn't. He kept our son safe
Yep.
and brought him back to us. Why? Because he was loyal to me. Always.
We had a plan to free our kids.
This was not our plan.
Exactly. It was yours. I cannot believe you thought he was just gonna get over this girl.
Our kids are no longer wanted for murder.
You brought scones.
Jesus Christ. Oh, these people. I will not be sad to see them all die. But how does his shirt stay so white? Does he not sweat? How does he go to the bathroom in there? Oh, you're not feeling well. Good! Oh no, it's flaking. Oh god, it's probably landed in people's salads and stuff. No.
Your word means nothing, Wilders.
Okay, go easy on
Never really has.
big fella, sweetie. But safety doesn't.
Someone remembers that Greg's
We all just
strapping.
want our kids back.
And you had them right there.
Why don't you ask Tina that?
The kids got away because Nico had the staff.
Yes, I gave Nico the staff. I've already lost one child. Sure as hell not gonna lose another. If that meant giving Nico a way to survive on the street,
Wow.
You should be thanking.
Can anyone duck the blame going on right now?
Here, you gotta try this.
I don't trust this kid at all. You just drank something someone gave you? What is wrong with you, Molly?
I got it. I was always the outsider, so for me to be that,
Fuerte.
yes. I was still.
I bet he wants to know how she turns it on
Do you
without
think
rubbing
maybe
whatever it
we're
is he
maybe-
rubs in. That's what he wants.
I mean, we both speak Spanish. We have the same eyes.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's definitely a good DNA test.
I know who you are. You've been all over the news. Pretty hard to miss, if you ask me.
Why did Alex take out his cornrows?
Oh yeah, you've got
Just hit
nothing.
me.
Come on, let me give you a tour of your new home.
Whoa!
Either way, muñeca.
don't get lost.
Someone,
Or do.
please, rein Molly in. Oh my god.
Athletic.
Glasses.
Top knot, dark
Tall hair.
lipstick, angry.
Did you know
really
that
wish
they
I could
see
tell you more?
hundreds of homeless kids a day, right?
Oh, but all of these kids would be together. All 6 of them in a group.
Yeah, I really do serve hundreds of people
Right?
every day. So
Sorry, rich people.
Asset pricing model. I'm gonna need $50 first. I'm trying to shake a bitch down
What?
on their kids.
There you go.
Come on, $50 is like pocket change for y'all. Come on.
So,
You might want to keep looking at that asset pricing model of yours because I would have given you 100 if you asked.
You know what I'm saying? Too late. Like the first thing he should have done was assess the room. Like designer shoes, designer bags. Come on.
I heard that, you nasty. You nasty. You little nasty. Little nasty.
Wear a mask or something, sir. Ain't nobody need that flaky cough on them.
Thank you. This is to get thrown into a hole of unknown depths to take a biopsy of whatever's down there so that we can kill someone. Hey, buddy, how are you?
I feel like this is not the place to have this conversation. Call me crazy.
So we're friends now?
Yeah, she doesn't make friends with anyone quite that easily. I really hope she's playing him. Although he is very cute. Like a little bunch of gophers.
Necrosis, yes.
You don't know that that means necrosis.
hold on a second.
Ah, it's symbiotic.
Earthquake.
It's all connected. I bet you Jonah's hurting right now too.
good.
Where'd Gert go? Okay, well, I'm gonna give her a pass because she is losing her mind.
Oh my god. Aiding and abetting a former murder suspect?
You're so into it.
Sure.
That's what I
I
thought.
don't need something in return, Poppy.
Name it.
Ew.
Didn't come out of nowhere. Something's happened. We need to get there.
Could you be more cryptic?
Please?
Mister, I have no time. I'm literally hacking up a lung. Why don't you just be real story-like about this? We got the time. Ha ha, Nico and her sticky fingers.
They're looking right at us.
We gotta go.
That was Gert and Molly's parents. What are they doing here?
We should check and see if Carolina's okay. She probably knows how Gert and Molly are doing.
That is not a chance we can take.
Holy, he reversed all the way out of there.
I think we just found out the cause of this earthquake.
What if they tell my mom?
Yes, she's got her mama's look on her face. You in trouble now, sir. Looking for you.
Is this what you were looking for?
Exactly. You got a nerve.
I could never dream of a daughter.
Is he gonna push her in there?
This day has been an honor.
No. Is he gonna jump in?
I told you I'd show you everything, and now I will.
No. No, don't take it. Put the glove back on.
I don't know if I can trust
the
you.
glove back on. I ain't touching that naked. This looks really weird. Her glow is brighter than his. How very interesting. Well, that was the end of Old School. And that was a bit of a reference to a really literal moment in this episode with our team going back to their old stomping grounds. This was an interesting episode. Again, we didn't really have a lot of action. We did have a little bit of tension with the parents getting so close to finding the kids, but I kind of knew that there was going to be no interfacing. I feel like it's going to be much like last season where we're not going to really get a face-off with like all the parents and all the kids until closer to the finale. But it was an interesting episode in that, I don't know, I guess it's the first time I'm a little bit disappointed in how naive the kids are. I mean, I guess it is to be expected. They keep bringing out the fact that these kids have never really had life outside of their cushy, rich, sheltered lives, and now that they're out in the street. I mean, Topher did say a lot of things that were very valid. Like, these kids are very conspicuous. They have been drawing attention to themselves unwittingly despite their best efforts. And that, as we saw, like, they went without food for how long, or they had to rely on Alex getting jobs to get money to buy food instead of figuring out how to source food. Urban sourcing, as he called it, which is very true. People who who've been homeless or who've lived at very, very minimal means have learned that there's a lot of ways to get free food without, actually stealing. Like you showed like that bakery box that said no good on it. Lots of restaurants and bakeries and food, makers out there, food factories or whatever, they throw a lot of food away. It's actually kind of disgusting how much food we throw away in Western countries. But anyway, I was a little disappointed though that they should have been a little bit, I feel like they should have worked a little harder to keep Topher contained. I mean, in a way, I guess they didn't have a lot of options because of Molly. And again, I can't even get mad at Molly because she's so naive. She's the youngest of the group. I think she's only supposed to be 13 or 14 years old. So yeah, she's going to be the most trusting, unfortunately. And I do understand, like that moment she had with Topher talking about how she feels so lonely being the only one who has intrinsic powers, because she is the only one other than Carolina, but Carolina's powers are a completely different thing. Whereas Molly, having this glowing eyes, having the strength, she has no idea why she has it. And again, we just saw with the episode before that with the death of Graciela, she's really feeling alone right now as far as having her own people, because even though everyone else in the group is talking about that they've lost a lot, the reality is all the other people in the group still have their parents. She's the only one out of this group who lost both her parents, now lost this relative, and so she probably is feeling a little bit more isolated than the rest of them are. So when she sees this guy, he's got eyes that light up like hers, of course she's gonna grasp at the idea that he could be a family member. It was a big reach, and of course I'm looking at this from adult eyes, but I understand why she was so easily drawn in. And he's a charmer, let's be real. Topher is a good looking guy. He knows how to sweet talk. He's very good. You can tell he's a very observant person. He's been looking at all of them. He's trying to suss them all out so he can figure out how to break down the walls. Him choosing to take the car with Nico was twofold, in my opinion. One was because he knew she was one of the biggest resistors in the group, and obviously he's thinking my charms and my looks will probably break down the girls sooner than it will the boys, because obviously we know boys, there's always going to be more competition going on there. But that was one reason, and I think the other reason is that he knows that staff is something that not to be messed with. So he probably wanted to figure out more about his staff, how it worked, can he use it, can he steal it, that sort of thing. So he's smart. He's very smart. He clearly is hiding a lot. I don't even know if it's true that he's really a street kid. Like maybe he's just someone who's wandering around. I don't know. Like Topher is a big question mark. And Nico and Alex being, again, some two of the sharpest minds in the group. Well, also Chase didn't really like him. Actually, no, I think the only person who really liked him was Molly, with a sign of course, Carolina, because Carolina is also literally sunshine and rainbows. So of course she wants to believe the best in everyone. But also, we all know that Carolina is walking around with her big and guilty conscience, and I think that's why she's been so forgiving of everyone, whether it was Molly running off to do her own thing, or Alex going off to make money, or in this case, Topher being brought back. Like, she just doesn't want to give anybody too much judgment right now, because she knows she's hiding a whole lot right now, and that people are going to be hella upset when they find out that she's been lying this entire time. So anyways, everyone else was rightfully very suspicious of Topher, and I don't know, I feel like maybe face it, Old Lace isn't really an attacker. We haven't seen that in her nature at all. It would have been smarter for me, like in my opinion, if like they should have had Nico use the staff for something better, like make it something like put him to sleep, knock him out. It's like, oh, you won't mind if I put you to sleep for the night and then we'll make sure that you don't go anywhere. Like something like that, you know what I mean? But anyway, how deeply were they sleeping that they didn't realize he had tunneled his way out the side of the house? Like, what? Y'all sleep way too sound in that house. Seriously. But anyways, we're just gonna leave that as a lovely little plot money. But yeah, it was a bit frustrating to see the team be so gullible where he's concerned. Although I do think that they're just kind of working with him because again, they can't really kick him out because as he mentioned at the little breakfast buffet, he doesn't know who they are. He could turn them in at any minute and it won't hurt him, you know, to do that. And he honestly could have just reported them. Like he really could have just gone and gotten the money if that's all he wanted. But clearly he's looking, I don't know what he's looking for. At this point I have to say Topher's truest intentions are still a bit of a mystery, which is good. That's good writing and good acting. You know, he's, to me, very clearly untrustworthy, relies a little too heavily on that charm. Like the audacity of him to think that when Nico said, hey, let's go talk alone, that she must have meant that she wanted to make out with him, knowing that she has a girlfriend. Like, dude, calm down. You are charming, but not that charming. Like, seriously, of all people. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see what his true intentions are. Clearly, he's juicing off of, and it was a black powder that was inside of that vial. So my guess is, remember the rock that Molly was holding as a child when her parents were killed? It was black on the outside with a little glowing white light inside. And I'm wondering if they're, so this kind of brings me, sorry, into the whole thing with Jonah, which I don't really care much what happened with Jonah and Carolina because it was really slow and drawn out to me, in my opinion. Like, I feel like they could have taken all of what happened between those two and stuck it into one scene at the end. But I digress. We saw the Gert's parents, the Yorkses, inject the fluid from whatever's down there inject the serum into that fluid, and we saw that it went black and hardened. So they just assumed that it was necrosis, that it was dying, but I mean, that was a really big leap because they don't know anything about it to know for sure that that was the case. But I'm wondering if the black, because we see that it got black and then it got all ridged, maybe that's like another form that it takes, right? Because the rocks that they dug up, or the rocks that Molly's parents had, were all black and ridged on the outside but had light on the inside. So maybe it's just a different form that the rock takes, and it looks like it's symbiotic because that little amount that they infected in the petri dish looked like it affected what happened down there and caused an earthquake. And we saw Jonah's face. He was not happy when he saw them at the site. He was like, okay, now I know why that earthquake happened. I thought maybe it might affect Jonah as well, like maybe they were all connected, but he didn't seem to have any kind of adverse reaction to them doing that. So all of that to say that maybe what Molly was like, she's exposed to in that rock, which is another form of whatever it is at the bottom of that hole. And conversely, you know how everybody else was freaking out at that earthquake? And remember, episode, we saw that Gert got some headaches along with her condition. And like I said, I feel like there's more to it. I don't think it might just be whatever her condition is. I think it has something to do with potentially some latent power that she might have. So I'm thinking that we're not going to have Gert back on meds. They made such a big deal of it already this episode or this season that I gotta think that there's something there that Gert's never known has been there because she's been medicated for her whole life. And maybe now that she's going to be off it. And again, this is usually the worst part of any type of, if you're on any kind of medication, the worst part is when you start taking it, your body does go through withdrawal. And if she was doing this the right way, they would have tapered her off this so she wouldn't have such extreme anxiety. But I think if she can just get past this initial hump of all of everything kind of coming in, we're going to see her actually, who knows, like we're just going to see maybe a whole new, much more badass Gert that's able to handle and harness all this and not have this dependency on these medications. But yeah, outside of that, stuff at the school, like I said, was fairly, nothing really eventful happened there, right? We still don't know how Gert got the computer. That was a little bit suspect, but yeah, there wasn't much that happened in school other than seeing these poor kids, you know, reminiscing for the days that they thought they would never reminisce for just having the boring old days of worrying about homework and bad classes. So, but yeah, overall it was a pretty good episode. Oh, I should also give, you know, a little talk about the chat between Jeffrey and Allison's mom. Her name just slipped out of my head. I love the fact that he's sick. I knew that he didn't know about it. I knew there was no way he would have agreed to letting his wife kill Darius. I'm glad to see he is a little upset about it. It's the least he can be after everything Darius has done for him. I mean, we all know that pretty much every couple in this show, with the exception of the Yorkses, are fractured. And even if this all goes the ways they wish it would, which we know it will, but even if a magic wand occurred tomorrow and he suddenly were free of Jonah and everything ended, their marriage is over. Let's be real. I don't think Jeffrey will ever forgive her for that. Like, the way she tried to just play it off like, oh, it's business, oh, it wasn't really your brother, whatever. It didn't work like that. She clearly grew up in a much different type of life than Jeffrey did, and she doesn't understand the fact that these two had a bond, and whether or not it was forged through crime or whatever, it was clear. Anyone who saw Jeffrey and Darius together could see that they had a bond, and it was deep, and that they did love each other despite everything. Because Jeffrey could have killed him 1,000 times over. We know this, but he didn't, because somewhere in that microcosm of his heart, he actually has some form of affection. So I'm glad to see that he's not on the same page as his wife. And I mean, obviously, because of circumstances